We're trying to figure this shit out. My name's Mike. That's Cody.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, D-Generation X.
Oh my god.
No,
Whatever it's supposed to do.
I don't know if you can see that on there, but it didn't open up as far as I thought it would.
Take 1,397 coming to you live from somewhere.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
I lost it.
So, like we've been dealing with the whole time, I've been fucking with audio.
Trying to get audio
Trying to
figured
get it to
out.
fucking work to where it's not echoing, to where it's not shitty, to where it's not to like the best that I can. I'm not a computer fucking genius. I try.
I mean, he claims to be, but he's not.
I work as hard as I can for this. So there is a part one to this. If the audio is not there,
Oh, we hope so.
We're gonna do a brief recap. We talked about our first hunting trips as kids. We talked about first things we killed. We talked about a bunch of things.
Some really good
Some
stories.
really good stuff. I'm going to try as hard as I can to get the audio, because I did this whole split track thing where it records that microphone, it records this microphone, and it puts it in two audio tracks. So I am hoping that I was able to make it work.
Oh, please, Jesus,
If
make it
didn't
work.
work, I'm going to have to try another audio software and do something else. I don't fucking know. So if anybody in the comments can tell me where to go, what to
Please,
do,
please
that'd
help
be
us out.
fucking great. But
Because
yeah.
I'm thinking this is supposed to be part 2. Could be part 1.
Could just be its own episode.
Could be its own
If
episode.
the episode goes for 2.5 hours, strap the fuck in.
Yeah,
But,
locked down.
It's currently almost 9 p.m. where we are.
Yeah,
And so,
yeah. And we both got up at 3:30 this morning.
and we've been drinking for the last, since 4.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah,
So
so
this will be entertaining.
where we left off was kind of what kind of got us addicted to hunting.
Yeah.
And like that
Yeah.
first hunt, the first kill, whatever. So you said that you wanted to make this another 2-part episode. Maybe
I did.
I mean, it
I
just
did.
depends where this goes. This could be the only one, ladies and gentlemen. We will fucking find out.
We will
on the
find
next
out.
episode of Dragon Ball Z. But
Never watched it.
but yeah, it's a great show. If
Doesn't-
you
doesn't-
want to go,
Is it not weird though that, like in the name, it says Dragon Balls, or is it Dragon Balls?
it's Dragon Ball.
So.
And it's not balls, it's Dragon
The
Ball.
balls.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, or is it Dragon's Balls?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Anyway, back to the whole hunting aspect of it. And if this is a second part, cool. If it's not, and it's the first part,
You missed out.
you totally missed out.
We went down some
Because
memory
it was
lanes.
a really cool episode, and we went down memory lane, and like there was some good emotional times, some just normal times. So we talked about hunting different animals.
Yep.
So some of you that know me know I worked for a high fence hunting operation for a while. It was like 17 acres, or 1,700 acres of high fence range. And if you've ever done that, or you've ever been around a high fence ranch, which I'm not promoting or putting down either way, you know, you do you. I just worked there. But on those high fences, you have to keep the predators out.
Yeah.
You have to. because they'll get in underneath that fence and they'll tear shit up inside the high fence. There's nothing you can do about it. So one of my jobs, which was super fun, is we set snares on all the holes where the predators would dig in.
Yeah.
And so, like, the one that sticks out in my mind the most, I caught a bunch of coyotes, I caught a bunch of coons, caught a bunch of, just everything. So I set a snare on a hole going in underneath the high fence.
Yeah.
Got up the next morning, went and checked it. There's a bobcat.
Oh, really?
I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. So I pull the buggy up next to it, and I go to step out. And I was new at the whole snaring thing, so and we're back. That's way better.
I'm cutting that out.
Yeah.
But you were talking about,
So I set these snares.
Yeah.
Not knowing that you're supposed to set the snare to the size of the animal's head.
Yeah.
So I just set it, to fill the hole. Well, I caught this bobcat. And I step out of the buggy, and it's about a 6-foot lead on that wire snare. This dude's not dead. It caught him in the midsection instead of the head.
He pissed off.
Oh, and I got 4 feet worth of claws and a mouth and a mad ass bobcat coming right at me. Thank God, wherever I stood, I was short of where he could reach.
Yeah.
May have peed just a little bit. I'm glad there was nobody with me. Yeah, it was sketchy. Had to shoot him. But it was one of those where it was a learning experience, to say the least, because I learned a whole lot about setting snares. Long story short, I spent the next 2 or 3 months refining that skill. And if anybody's ever set snares, that's fun.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's super fun.
I used to trap with my stepdad.
And see, we'd ran trap lines, and it was always foothold traps or conibears, and it kills them instantly. Or on a foothold trap, you knew that they were caught. Dude, never messed around with snares. Scared me to death.
Yeah.
We're hoping this audio is going right now.
Oh, no, it's working. It's working. I've already cut it once.
So I think we got everything figured out. I'm really kind of bumfuzzled. I don't remember exactly where we were at because we've had a little bit of technical difficulties
And alcohol.
and maybe a little bit of that. But yeah.
What's on your notepad?
Well, I've got some. So if we want to talk about hunting experiences,
Uh-huh.
where we've been, what we've done. So I got a good story. So back before, I have buddies now, and I go down to Arkansas on a hog hunt, and it's on a pine farm, and it's cool, it's just
Yeah.
normal hog hunting. So me and a group of guys, we get to looking in the back of Sportsman's Guide. Used to be a magazine you got in the mail. And they had this deal, and it said $150 per guy, guaranteed kill, bow only, come down and shoot a hog. It's right outside of Fayetteville, Arkansas. I'm like, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
And it's pretty reasonable. So me and a couple buddies and our dads all go to Arkansas. We're going to go hog hunting. And it's like 200 acres, high fence. So supposedly they can't get away from you. And we go down, they let you stay in their lodge. It's a pretty cool little place. So we get down there, and we're talking to the guy that owns the place, and he goes, all right, here's the deal. He said, it's 250 acres, which is still a pretty good chunk of ground.
Yeah.
And it's full of hogs that what they did was they started trapping hogs. And every ones they trap, they turn loose in this high fence. So they're wild hogs.
Yeah.
And he goes, this is the layout of the ground. This is where you can hunt. Stay away from this spot. And we found out later you stay away from that spot because that's the big, giant boar that they had in there that bred some of the sows. I'm like, okay. And he goes, so you can hunt any of this. It's bow only. And I'm like, I'm kind of freaked out at that point because I'd never been hog hunting. And I'm like, can I take a pistol?
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, you can take a pistol, just where they were close to the city limits. Didn't want you shooting guns. Cool. So, long story short, we hunt all day. And we figure out that these hogs are running this perimeter fence.
Yeah.
And they're running from us. So, two of the guys go around and they start pushing. And they're going to run them along the fence. And I'm sitting with my bow, waiting for them to come at me. And then it hits me. I'm like, this is not smart. I'm sitting on my ass
Yeah.
on the ground, backed up to a tree with a bow.
Yeah.
And a whole friggin' herd of hogs coming right at me. And I'm like, oh God, this is dumb.
Yeah.
Last minute, I stand up, I get behind the tree, I click my release on, and I'm like, all right, here they come. Here they come. And I kind of peek my head out, and when I do, 35, maybe 40 hogs all stop at the same time. I'm like, oh God. Draw back, shoot, hit this dude in the shoulder, a little bit forward. His hind end goes to the ground, and he lets out this scream. Dude, you talk about sending chills down your spine. It's the most guttural, evil sound I've ever heard in my whole life. And this hog is dragging himself with his front legs towards me. I panic. I'm like 19 years old. I panic.
Yeah.
I pull out a 357 and I start going ham on him. Just boom, boom, boom. I'm missing every shot. When we finally got all the hogs cleared out of there, because I was scared to death, this hog's got a hole in his right ear. Yeah, I'm aiming for him, and all I did was pierced his ear.
Yeah.
He's got a hole in his butt cheek.
Oh,
Oh, I mean, I finally took care of him, but it was bad.
mm-hmm.
And like out of the 6 or 7 of us, one of my buddies that lives here in town, he had went. Him and my dad, I think, are the only 2 that didn't get a hog. And so we get up, we got them all strung up, we're cleaning them, and the guy goes, it kind of sounded like World War II down there. I thought, he said this was supposed to be a bow only. I was like, yeah, well, I kind of panicked. I said I had 35 hogs coming at me, and I had a stick and string and a pistol. And I said I may or may not have lost my shit and shot at it with this pistol.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one of those trips that you'll never forget.
Yeah. So I know I do, and I'll start this conversation off.
Yeah.
Do you have a shit hunting experience, like going on a hunt anywhere or anything that was just like you had high hopes and it just sucked?
Oh, several.
So I'll start it off.
All right.
My brother,
Right.
Lucas, and you're never gonna live this down, Lucas, wherever the camera is. He wanted to go on a guided goose hunt. Well, whatever,
Right,
See on
right.
TV them guys shooting tornadoes of geese and
Right.
ducks and whatever. So it's like there's one up in Missouri. It's up past Kansas City. He's like, it was $150 a guy, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. And so I think I've told you this before. I might not have. So we sign up. We send Lucas the money. He pays the guy. There's no lodge. There's no nothing. So we got a room. We got a hotel. My dad, shout out to you, you tight ass. He got one room with double beds. 4 grown ass men.
Somebody sleeping on the floor.
And a dog. No.
Oh,
And he luckily got the king beds. And so Jake Lucas one bed, me and my dad another bed. We all had our own blankets, whatever.
nut to butt or nut to nut, but
I
never
had-
nut to butt.
There was 5 foot between us. Well, I had Drake, Lucas's dog, his lab, in my bed. Fucking dude is not a cuddler at all. He just lays on you. And so we get up in the morning. We had to meet at this gas station. And that's when I first knew something was fucked up. We meet at a fucking
Got to
gas
meet at a
station.
gas station.
So we meet there, and these guys pull up in this shit beater blazer thing, and we're like, okay, well, hunting rig, whatever.
Right.
They're not the prettiest. And we get to go and following these guys. And when I say follow, I mean we following. We go from pavement to gravel to pavement to gravel to pavement to gravel.
Oh God.
I pull up this spot and we get out. Well, Lucas brought Drake, because Drake was younger. He was like 3 or 4. I mean, he
Right.
wanted to get Drake some good experience in, and Drake already had some, but just your local farm pond bullshit.
Right.
So we get to going, and we get out there. They're setting everything up. I'm trying to keep Drake away from the other dogs. I mean, like, we're like, Lucas is like, we wanted to get Drake involved, stuff like that.
Use our dog.
We're in these laid out blinds that they had, and luckily they were comfortable because, dude, it was the shittiest fucking hunt of my life.
Really?
I could have stayed home, saved the $150, and shot more geese than we saw.
Oh God.
So we're laying there, and they've been, and that's the thing about any waterfowl hunter knows. You can track them fuckers all
No
day
guarantee.
long. And it's unless that pond is famous for it, Dogwoods, for instance, it's famous for it, and then birds are there every year. We lay there, and all of a sudden we hear the noise. The boodoo, boodoo, and we're like, okay, well, fuck, game time. You know, so
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
as soon as I hear, okay, I see him, and we're like, all right, and you can hear them getting closer and closer, and we're calling there. Well, what's fucked up is we had to call with them. Usually guides do everything.
Right.
You just sit there, when they say shoot, boys, you shoot.
Right.
And so we lay there, and we hear get ready. Well, when I hear get ready, it's click. Like, because I have
Safety's off. Shit's about to happen.
I have trigger discipline. I can pull it out of the fucking blind, and before my finger is straight, before I even get ready to fucking see a bird, it's straight. So I hear get ready, and all of a sudden, my dad hears click, and he's like, "Oh, you shooting first?" I said, "Fuck yeah, I paid for this."
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm shooting. I don't give a shit if I hit it or not.
Yeah.
3 of them come in. Where I knew we were in the wrong fucking place at the wrong time was because when they said shoot, everybody pulled up to shoot. Even the guides.
Oh God.
And I'm like, that ain't fucking right.
No.
And
We paid for this, and you're gonna shoot our birds
This was a
for us.
one-day thing. This was a Saturday hunt. This was a
wow.
Saturday deal.
Real high class.
So we fucking pulled up and shot. And yeah, there was 3 of them. 3 geese.
Did you get all 3?
Yeah. I know I hit one, but I don't do the arguing thing. I've shot plenty
Right.
of ducks and geese. I mean,
Not my bird. Not my bird.
I know my bead was on when I clicked. He fell. About the time 4 other shots fucking went off because I was the first fucker to shoot. I didn't care. When I looked over and the guides were reloading their shotguns, I'm thinking, what the fuck just happened?
Why are you guys
Yeah,
shooting?
why are
too?
you shooting? And I didn't say a fucking thing. Now my dad said some shit, and so we get done, we go eat breakfast, and then we call him and we're like, so we're going back out for this evening, and no, that was it. That was it. You got
One morning hunt.
one morning hunt for $150 per person, and there were
Oh,
4
wow.
of us.
Oh wow.
$600. And I would say by far that was the worst hunting experience I had ever. And I've gone hunting by myself and got fucking skunked and didn't see a bird.
Yeah, talk
Or I
about
missed.
class.
And I'm like, what the fuck did I pay for? Well,
What
then
just happened?
then the next year they wanted to go down south to Arkansas area.
Right.
Not
right.
not the timber shit. That's on my fucking bucket list.
No, we can do that.
And
I have family.
so they
lives
went
there.
down there, and it was a little different. It was a little bit more money, but you had a hunting cabin and shit.
Right.
When I say hunting cabin,
It
you
was
see
a
them,
cabin.
like prison spring beds with
Oh,
like the
wow.
weird mattresses and the spring fucking frame, and then
And the guy saying
I
you got
don't
a
even
pretty
think the
mile.
bathroom fucking. I don't even think the bathroom fucking worked. So I remember my dad got so pissed off, he went on Airbnb and got a fucking house because they were already down
Really?
there. He got a fucking house, and they went out. I think it was for 2 days.
Right.
I don't even know if they limited it out one fucking day. And I'm so glad I didn't go. I was like, you know what? That first trip,
Kind of burnt me.
it burnt me a little bit. So
Yeah.
the second one was only like $250, I think, a person. I'm like, it's $100, but I'm like, that's not enough. I feel like you go on a guided hunt. I mean, you're spending money. Like I'm
We
expecting.
go on a guided hunt. We're going free 99.
Well, yeah, because you got buddies in
I
Arkansas.
got family
But like
that lives in Stuttgart.
my dream guided hunt is I'm going to fucking Habitat Flats, and that is in Missouri. That is Tony Vandermort.
Okay.
He is the whoever is a duck hunter, you know Tony Vandermort. He is the buck commanders. He is the real tree guys of the duck scene.
Really?
I mean, He's got backed up from Cabela's, Hardcore Waterfowl. I mean, Black Cloud Shells, all of them. I mean, he's
Right.
like, you go to his place, you don't bring gear. You don't bring a shotgun. You don't bring ammunition. You buy your tags there. He provides
So
you.
you just get your
provides you with a
stamps.
Benelli shotgun.
You just get your stamps, and he does.
He
does
provides
everything
you
else.
with the Cabela's hunting gear to wear.
Oh wow.
I mean, and when I say that they have a garage full of equipment, it is the size of your house, or bigger. And you walk in, and it is
Really?
every fucking size. And then they hand you a fucking shotgun, and then when you get to the blind, there's cases of ammunition.
Wow.
So that's the guided hunt I want to go on.
Right.
I want to sit there and don't get me wrong, Tony Vandemore shoots because a lot of times you're being recorded.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna be
Yeah.
on fucking
We
YouTube.
need birds on the ground.
And so he makes sure you shoot your birds first. But you stay the whole fucking time. I mean, you watch them all hunt too. You're fucking there.
That would
And
be
I'm like,
so cool.
that's what I want. That's the guided fucking hunt that I want to go on. Is
Right.
is that? And so like, granted, you're gonna spend fucking 5, 6, 7, 10 grand. But I mean, like,
Oh, see, I just need to get a hold of my cousin, and we can still go do that
Oh,
same
yeah.
thing. It's all flooded timber.
Yeah.
It's on the Wabasiki Bottoms, right outside of Stuttgart. My cousin runs a hunting lodge, and I'm talking like 13-bedroom big ass lodge. They make their own boats. Like, you get down there and you're like, oh my god,
I'd fucking nerd out.
boats made out of plywood.
Oh, I'd fucking nerd out.
And you're hunting in flooded. I'm pretty sure Wabasiki's like 10,000 acres of flooded timber. They have their own ground that borders it, but it's so cool, dude. Like, I'm not a duck hunter, but I enjoy. I can remember when I was a kid going down there and literally, you know how when you're out in the summertime and you're fishing and a cloud comes over and you can just see the everything go kind of gray
Mm-hmm.
from the cloud. I have seen that happen from ducks.
Oh yeah.
Like the
fucking
sky-
tornado effect is
The
ridiculous.
sky go gray from ducks.
So I was hunting with my dad and Carter it was last year, year before. We went to a pond over in Missouri. I just bought my 1-day tag and shit like
Right.
that,
Right.
And we went over there, and I hadn't seen that for years. I mean, when we first started hunting up north, we did see that.
Right.
But this was a pond that hadn't been fucking touched ever.
Right.
So I mean, those birds are used to that pond, but like that was, and they were a mixture of birds. You had a couple wood ducks. Most of them were just your fucking normal.
Greenheads.
I mean, there were some greenheads. What do you call them? Other ones. They look like a mallard, but they're not a mallard. The hens.
You got widgeons.
Yeah, shit like that.
Widgeons.
I mean, it's a duck's a duck. I mean, you
Right,
fucking
right.
feed it, you eat it, whatever. Yeah, we went to this fucking pond, and Carter's like, it's low, this place used to be the fucking shit. And I'm like, okay. Then
And it was.
we get there, and it was me, my dad, Carter, and that was when Harley, his dog, was young. She was like 2, maybe.
Right.
And we fucking started hunting, and God, the feeling that I got from that, I missed that feeling.
Right.
And how do I explain? Like, we're sitting there, and I heard a noise, and I'm like, okay, they're coming
Yeah.
in. And then about shooting light, it was that. It was fucking just ducks after fucking ducks after ducks, and then this fucking flock of geese come in, and I'll never fucking forget it because my dad, we're trying, anybody who's ever raised a bird dog, it's not a 1-year thing.
No.
I mean, they're constantly learning. Like
No,
Drake,
it's a commitment until the dog's dead.
Drake, my
essentially.
brother's dog, just kind of got retired. I mean, he's not retired, but like, we're not taking Drake out for 12 guys anymore.
Right,
I mean,
right.
Drake used to be able to keep up with 8, 9 guys,
Right.
and he's 8 or 9 years old now. That dog's had a life. I mean, he's been out there. And Harley, I remember we shot some geese, and there's one probably from here, about 15, 20 yards out on the. I mean, it was some ice.
Right.
And my dad's like, fetch up. And she went to that fucking ice and walked out about 4 foot and turned around and was like, I ain't fucking swimming. And my dad's like, bitch, we're getting that duck. So it was one of those, he fucking drug her with him and got him out and got her out there and made her get that fucking goose and come back. But that was probably the last good hunt I was on, and that was a year or two ago.
Right.
And nowadays, it's just, I really wish fucking Ducks Unlimited could get that season pushed back because,
Well,
I was at Walmart when I went to Walmart to get the stuff for today. And I'm walking to Walmart, and I hear the noises, and my head instantly is up. I mean, it's just who I am.
oh God.
And I'm looking, and I'm talking probably fucking 300 of them bitches were
Yeah.
flying. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, too bad the season's fucking over.
Well, I was getting
mean-
ready. I was getting ready to come up here and get stuff kind of ready before you showed up. Walk out the front door. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm like, and I look up. At, no lie, probably 4,000 or 5,000
Yeah.
birds,
Just flying.
all patterned up, cruising over the house. And granted, they were pretty high,
Yeah.
but I'm like, gosh, dang! And season's already over, as far as I know, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've got to, and we used to be in the main flight pattern
It used to be.
because of the Maritime wildlife
Oh,
and all
God.
that. You don't see ducks or geese like you used to.
No, because by the time they get here, the season's over.
Season's
I mean,
over.
because hate to say it, but the winters aren't what they used to be. The birds
No.
aren't being pushed.
No.
Now we did have that cold front,
Did
and
we ever?
it lasted what, a couple weeks,
Yeah.
a week and a half, and I mean that pushed some birds because I was looking on my computer and I was looking at the migration report, and them summages were moving.
Well,
And I'm
and,
like, yeah, but it was too fucking cold to keep water from freezing.
and I made out like a bandit on that deal because I just got back from Colorado.
Oh yeah, he was on a trip.
I did. I went up. We went up and went skiing for a few days, and you think in a normal situation, you go to Colorado in the summertime to cool off, and then to Colorado in the wintertime, it's cold.
Wasn't that cold there?
No, it was a total swap. We left for Colorado, and what is today, the 26th?
Yeah.
We left for Colorado last week, and it was colder here than it was out there.
And they had 5 foot of snow.
They got 5 foot of snow in a week
Yeah.
where we went. We went to Granby, and we literally got shut down on I-70 at Salina
Mm-hmm.
and had to stay the night because I-70 drifted closed. It wasn't because of snow. It was just because of 40-mile-an-hour consistent winds and like 70-mile-an-hour gusts. And there was drifts all over the highway. We get out there, and we're out there 5 days. It's 35, 32, 38 degrees. And I'm talking to my family back here, and they're like, oh, it was 18 degrees a day with a -2 wind chill. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, it fucking iced
I
one whole
went in the
day.
wintertime to warm up.
It had iced.
Yeah, bad ice storm. One of my buddies works for KDOT. Completely shut everything down. In my mind, I can't remember it, but I think it's the first time they shut down 54 highway from
Yeah.
Bronson
To here.
to here.
Yeah.
Because of ice.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard of that. They said
was fucking wet.
69 highway was
I
closed.
remember when I went to bed the night before it all froze solid, it was raining. And everyone's like posting on social media, oh, it's starting to get slick out. Well, I walked out to my porch and I was like, oh, well, it's a little slippery, but I have a wooden
it ain't
porch.
bad.
I mean, I have
Yeah.
a wooden porch. So I'm like, it's just wood. It's cold, whatever. It ain't
Right.
concrete. Dude, I got up the next fucking morning and went to drive to work. Granted, I got up at 4:15, went out and started my car. And when I said that, I went out like in my shorts and no shirt on. I
Right.
went out and started my car real
Ran
quick.
out, started, run back in the house.
And I left my house at 4:50, which I live, a couple miles,
Right.
a couple minutes from work, and it made a 1 foot by like 1 foot patch. Everything else was still frozen solid.
Really?
Yeah, and I drove.
So I never did hear. Did anybody lose power because
I
of
don't
it?
think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I didn't see a whole lot
I
about
just
it,
knew it was super cold.
but it was fucking cold, and it just got colder. From like 4 till like 7, 8 o'clock, it got fucking colder, but it kept raining. So you had the water on top of the fucking ice.
And then it just kept freezing.
And because I remember I was getting messages from schools. Schools were shut down. They shut down
Right.
my lady's work. She didn't go to fucking work.
Right.
And luckily, most people from our work, a buddy we work with drove 15 miles an hour the whole way. A 10, 15-minute drive took him over an hour.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
he
he said it
drove
took
it.
him a full hour.
He drove that shit. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I wouldn't have.
No.
Ain't no fucking way.
No.
I mean, I would have drove from your house to fucking town.
Well, one of my best friend works for KDOT, and he said they finally told them go home
Yeah.
because they were spending more time pulling their own trucks out than
Yeah.
they're trying to thaw the road out.
I seen a picture where they were trying to pull a sheriff car out of a ditch.
Yeah,
And I'm talking like a ditch, a fucking like 5 foot deep.
and you don't go to Colorado to find warmer air
But you
in the
did.
wintertime,
But you fucking
and I
found it.
totally did.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I don't know how many people out there like to snow ski.
Yeah.
I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. I sat on the deck of our condo and watched everybody get on the ski lift and go up the mountain and ski down. And they had a blast, and I am physically not injured for that reason. We went and watched the Chiefs game at the lodge and drank beer and had a blast. Speaking of which, I don't know if anybody watched that game, but the Chiefs totally killed it.
It was a good game.
It was a good game.
It was a good
And we're going to do that again against the Ravens. And then the next episode that we're going to film is going to be right before the Super Bowl when I wear my new Pacheco shirt.
Do you like rubbing your titties?
It's like, that's no, it's right across the front. It says Pacheco. And it's going to be Pacheco and the Chiefs against the Detroit Lions.
I don't know.
Come on, give me a prediction. We gotta play the Ravens. Not gonna be an easy game.
No.
No,
But everyone did
But I
say
think we
couldn't
can
go
do
to
it.
Buffalo and win.
that's
either.
right. And we beat Buffalo at home.
Barely.
We still beat them.
Oh yeah. I mean,
We whooped that Chris Pratt looking ass.
I don't.
Come on.
I've been, and a guy we work with, Gavin, can say can agree to this. We've been talking. Me and him have been talking about the Lions all year. The Lions got something to prove.
They do.
Granted, I'm loving the Eminem hype videos.
Oh yeah.
Because he's been going on
Eminem and Kid
on.
Rock, they're
And,
ate up with this Detroit deal, and I love it.
I would love to see a Chiefs-Lions Super Bowl. That would be cool because everyone doubted the fucking Chiefs. You know, they're not going back. They're not going back. But here we are. We're one
Always
game
say
away.
this. One game away, and we're gonna do it. When this airs, it's physically already going to happen.
But I say, part of me is kind of like the Lions, dog. I mean, because like they've shocked fucking everybody.
They really have.
They ended last season really great.
Yeah.
They kept up this season, and so like
And Hutchison's a beast.
I will say this: the Chiefs make it to the Super Bowl. It is not going to be an easy win for the Chiefs.
No.
Because San Francisco's been
No
playing
matter who
lights
it
out,
is.
and then the Lions have been on a fucking streak, and they beat us the first game of the fucking season. Made us look like dog shit.
So your prediction? Mine, Chiefs, Lions.
My prediction,
Come on.
I want to say Lions because the momentum, but they're also, I mean, they're going into San Francisco, but San Francisco is a solid team. Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
I just gotta say Christian McCaffrey.
Now my next question:
Fucking Nick Bosa.
Do
Yeah.
you think we're going to beat the Ravens? Come on.
I'm a fucking Chiefs fan.
Me
I'm
too.
a diehard Chiefs fan. I
Me
have
too,
another
but-
podcast I talk about that on. But
It's gonna be a rough game.
if we win this game,
Yeah.
it is going to be because of two reasons.
The Checo.
No. It is going to be it was won by a field goal or it was won in overtime.
Okay. I just got to clear it up.
But Pacheco can run the fucking football.
Oh, that dude stomps holes in the ground when he runs. And I just got to clear a little bit up. I grew up in the era of Steve DeBerg
I was a Trent Green, Priest Mahomes.
and like Nick Lowry,
Yeah,
Christian Okoye, the Nigerian Nightmare,
yeah.
like old Chiefs where they could get to the playoffs every year and they'd lose the first game.
Mm-hmm.
First game of the playoffs, that was it. They were done. And Trent Green, Elvis Gerback, Rich Gannon, like, pissed me off. I became a non-Chiefs fan for a little while. I'm not going to lie. I'm not a bandwagon guy, but when Rich Gannon took us all the way to the playoffs and they brought in Elvis Gerback and he lost it for us, and then Rich Gannon went to the Rams and took them to the Super Bowl and won it, I was
That was
pissed.
the Raiders.
Or the Raiders.
Yeah.
I was pissed.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this dude carried us the whole season, and then you took some high-paid dude and put him in place of him, and he lost it for us.
Yeah.
I was mad.
Yeah.
And I went through several years where I was a little bitter,
Mm-hmm.
and then the Chiefs kind of come alive. And say what you want, Mahomes, stud.
Yeah.
Stud. He turned him around.
Oh, yeah.
And I've never...
Not gonna oversight Alex Smith either.
Oh, no.
He was good.
No. And
Took it right
I've
in your career.
never, ever said, and I told my wife this while we were in Colorado. That's what brought the whole thought to mind. I have never, ever said, I'll buy a jersey. I'm not a Travis Kelce. I mean, yeah, he's a great player. I'm not going to buy that jersey.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to buy whoever's jersey, a Rice jersey. I will totally
By
buy
Pacheco.
a Pacheco jersey if they win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because I'm convinced he wasn't that big of a name when he come in.
No.
He wasn't. Nobody really knew who he was. And I was like, that dude's pretty good.
Yeah.
He has made a name for himself.
Oh yeah.
Like stud.
Welcome to the podcast about talking about sports.
Yeah, it's supposed to be hunting, but I kind of...
It's not really hunting. I mean, that's what we started this about, but it's more
Yeah.
of a. We just ramble on.
ramble.
Whatever pops in our fucking
Random
brains,
shit.
we talk about it. And it's the same way when we fucking work together. Most of them is TikTok videos. But
Oh, yeah. Watch some good ones today, too.
oh yeah. But yeah, that's our little sports clip of the week.
Yeah.
But yeah, did you ever say your worst hunting experience?
My worst hunting experience?
Like how I talked about the goose hunt thing.
Yeah, I think we talked about it. If this is not part two,
Oh, the video before. If the video before works,
yeah,
is you talking about when you went and hunting the deer?
when I
and-
hit even no man's land.
Yeah,
That was totally the worst. It ruined me.
Yeah.
It literally ruined me for almost 2 years. I
So
didn't hunt.
if anybody watches this that is like scrolling YouTube trying to learn anything about hunting, and if you could give them just short, simple advice on bow hunting.
Set your sights low.
After going through what you said, like you stopped for 2 years because you missed or you hit him
Yeah.
or whatever, like,
Yeah.
could you give them advice?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm not Dr. Phil. I'm not giving out a lot of advice.
I just
But in the same breath, you have to set your sights low.
Yeah.
If you're bow hunting, if you're rifle hunting, you can kind of do whatever you want to do because
it's easy at 300 yards.
it is. Anybody can get within
And I would
300
debate
yards
that
of a deer.
any fucking day of the week.
Yeah, anybody can get within 300 yards of a deer.
Yeah. I mean, shit, we can shoot elk from mountaintop to mountaintop.
600, 700, 800 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you pack him with a Pua dog, you can
Yeah.
shoot one fucking half a mile away.
I am 100% convinced if you want to be challenged and you want to have fun, bow hunting's the way to go.
Yeah.
But you have to
It's dedication.
you have to be able to put the time in.
Yeah.
You have to
Just
Make
make sure you're
sure-
single.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you're not, tell your wife. She's literally going to be divorced for her 2 months.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the first thing my wife told me when I got on the whole Crooked Horn
Yeah.
expedition, as I call it, because for 41 days, I was consumed by that deer.
Yep.
I hunted him every day from whatever stand the wind was right from for 41 days before I got a chance.
Yeah.
And I was, at the end of it, I had almost given up.
Yeah.
Like it had taken every bit of resolve I had in me to keep going. And, but to give somebody advice, I mean, for whatever my 2 cents is worth, you got to set your sights low. You
Yeah.
have to look at it realistically as I might do all this work and not get anything out of it.
Yep.
I mean,
I guess
that's just it. You might not get anywhere.
I could say the same about waterfowl hunting.
Yeah.
Because I've said it multiple times in multiple videos. You have to be at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
Because you can go duck hunt the same pond every day for the entire season.
And might not see
And-
one duck.
There's a chance you get 2 solid mornings.
Yeah.
Of however long your season may be where you live. I mean, waterfowl, I can tell you, I started out with the hand-me-downs and the garage style decoys,
Oh yeah.
and I can say that they did just as good for me as they did as going to Cabela's and spending $5,000 one day.
On that same note, so I went to Bass Pro in Springfield.
Mm-hmm.
Got my youngest with me. And he's 14 now. He's probably 10. Well, no, he'd have been. This is 24, and I shot Crooked Horn in 20. So yeah, he'd have been 10 years old.
Yeah.
We're at Cabela's and we're looking around, and our Bass Pro, and if you go up this set of stairs, they have their. And I'm sorry, guys, I have a Sitka hat, but I'm not a Sitka snob, as they call it.
Shut up,
Or
brother.
some of my buddies call it a Sitka snob.
Shut up, my brother.
Yeah. And so we're llooking at their camo.
$400 hoodie.
Yeah. We're looking at their camo. And my youngest, he walks up and he kind of looks at this coat and he's like, oh, this is cool. It's $590 some
Yep.
for a coat.
Mm-hmm.
And we walk a little further and there's a couple of kids kind of off to our right. And we look at these pants and they're like $600 for the pants.
Yeah.
And my youngest hears this guy. We're not trying to pay attention to their conversation, but he was talking loud and he looks at his buddy and goes, this is the kind of stuff you got to have to kill big deer.
No.
Oh, no, I didn't have to say anything. And my son goes, my dad killed a 185-inch deer this year with Walmart camo. So if you think you need that,
Yeah.
you have problems. And
Yeah.
I'm like, he ain't wrong.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
He ain't wrong.
You know how many times I've gone to Cabela's and shopped in the clearance section?
Right.
I
And don't get
bought
me wrong, I
the
got
first pair of waders
KUIU.
I ever bought myself. I bought from the clearance rack.
Yes.
Because
I got KUIU camo that I wear in mid-season
Yeah.
because I got it on sale.
Yeah.
And it's cool looking or whatever. And I've got some Sitka stuff for cold weather just because it was on sale on Amazon.
Yeah.
And I have a wide array of different kinds of camo. But at the end of the day, it's not the equipment. It's the guy using it.
Yeah.
Yes, the equipment helps and it makes you a little more comfortable in the stand. Or it makes you feel like you're more
Would you rather put your money in hardware or clothing? What's
Hardware.
more? What's
Hardware.
so you think hardware?
hardware.
Like that's the difference between me and you. Like I'm sure bows and arrows and probably the stand makes the difference.
Oh.
For duck hunters, it's
100%.
more so clothing. And
Well, yeah,
I,
because you got to be hidden.
I would say hardware too, because like if you're in a layout blind, whatever. But I mean, like you can get those pretty cheap. I mean, if you buy it at the right time of the year. But I
Right.
mean, like clothing makes the huge difference. I mean, and so that's where we're a little bit in.
You're trying to blend in.
You're trying to blend in with your
We're trying to
surroundings.
blend in. I
You're
wouldn't
trying
even
not to
say
be smelled. I mean, I feel like they
It's-
do more so about smell than they
scent
do.
control.
Yeah.
Because if you're hunting out of the right stand, I mean, and there you go again. That's a whole nother debate.
Yeah.
How high off the ground you need to be. I hunt out of it anywhere from a 15 to a 20-foot ladder stand
Yeah.
or a chain on stand. If you get up there high enough, the concealment is not as big of an issue as the scent control.
Yeah. 'Cause I was-
Whereas
'cause I
you're
was walking-
literally fighting against eyeballs.
I've been
looking at
watching, or I've watched the hunting channel, and they've showed like bloopers and shit. And there was a guy in a tree stand. Big deer walks out, and he has his head on the ground, and he's just doing his thing, and all of a sudden he stops, turns, his nose goes in the air, and he just turns and looks.
right at him.
And he was like, he fucking smelled me.
Dead
I mean,
to
like,
rights.
he knew it, and he knew it clear as day. And that deer said, "Gotcha, bitch."
Yeah.
I mean, like, I
Dead to
smelled
rights.
you, and the guy's like, "Yep, he got me." I mean, it's one of those things like, when you're hunting waterfowl, you don't have to worry about being smelled. It's being seen from, 500 yards in the air.
Right.
Like,
Right.
like it's insane. And so, but yeah, like the advice I could give somebody is just don't put a bunch of money into it until you know for sure it's what you want. It's like a hobby. That's like me with gaming. I didn't put a bunch of money into gaming when I first started. I just started playing it. It's like hunting. Now,
Well, it's along the same lines of waterfowl versus deer hunting.
yeah,
We've talked about this a bunch.
yeah,
My son wants to get into waterfowl more
yep,
and doesn't really understand that it's
waterfowl's
going to take
expensive.
years
Oh,
to get to the point in waterfowl that we're already at in deer hunt.
yeah,
I've accumulated it over the years.
Yeah.
I'm set up for it. I know what I need to do. It's a whole different demon with waterfowl.
oh boy,
I mean,
it fucking
all the
consumes your
decoys,
bank account.
balls and camo and blinds and
What's hilarious about waterfowl, because like you just said, calls. I used to have the lanyard that had 10, fucking 12 calls on it. Ducks, geese, you had
That
the
one.
mallard whistle, and you'd be surprised. You'd be hitting one call and it ain't working, and you drop it and you grab another one and rank and it. And it's instant, and you're like, "What the shit?" Because that little bit of a tone difference,
yeah,
and it's
got their attention.
yeah, and it's wild because I just never expected that shit to ever happen, but it's done it.
And
Same
I've
with
seen it.
moose calls.
I've seen it with decoys.
Oh God,
You got
most people don't know when you go hunting. If you're gonna do a long hunt, like if you're gonna hunt first thing in the morning and you just stay there till noon or 1 or whatever,
Right.
you have to go out and change the pattern up. And you can debate this. This is my 2 cents. You have to go out and change the spread because the birds you shot at 7:15, 7:30 in the morning
really. I didn't know that.
can want to come back. But if you get shot at by somebody at a house and you drive back by said house and it looks the exact same as it was when you got shot, you ain't
Pulling
going
in.
back in there. Now, if you drive back to that same house and that car's gone and the lights are off, everything, you might go back in because you're like,
I've never
they're
thought
probably
about that.
gone. But if you go back to the same decoy spread and it looks the exact same way it did when you got shot at an hour ago or 2 hours ago, why the fuck would you want to land there? You'll fly right
Right.
around that bitch.
Right.
So we always try to change up mojos and change up, just take some more off this side, throw on this side, make the V, because they always say you want to have a V because it funnels them into the V.
Really.
I learned this off of a book. It was off of it was a magazine. It was an article about how to set up your decoys. And it was an older guy, and he said there's a V because if you spread your decoys out, where are they going to land? On the outside of your decoys because there's nothing in their way. They don't like to land on top of another duck or on top
Right,
of another
right,
goose
makes
or
sense.
whatever. So you
But
put
I've
it
never
into
really
a
looked
V
at it this
pattern,
way.
and they've always said ducks are attracted to a point. They land on, like, if you have a pond that's got a horseshoe, it's got like a point in the middle of it, they'll land on that point.
Really.
Because it's the most shallowest spot. So if you put your ducks in a V or whatever, it will funnel them in, not all the time, but it will funnel them into that V, and they'll land in the water.
Really?
Makes them land closer.
See, I didn't know that.
And so you have to, but you can't just make a perfect fucking V with decoys.
Right,
So you
right.
would go out and throw 10, 15 on this side, you'd throw 10, 15 on this side, and you'd make it to where it's not like a perfect V, but you make it like a horseshoe come into you.
Right.
And then about an hour or two, you can go out and you pull some off that side, throw them over there. And then like it makes this side a little shorter, so then they're going to swoop around and come this way and land right here.
Really?
You can make the ducks do what you want to do. Now, fucking geese, yeah, you just take a coin and I hear them.
see where they're gonna
He
land.
ain't gonna be here. I mean, like, it's heads or tails, dog. I mean,
Really?
fucking geese are assholes, dude. They're the pickiest fucking creature. I swear to God.
Really?
I swear to God. Rest in peace. But yeah, like,
Good Lord, sweet baby Jesus.
geese are complicated creatures. Even like in a field, like I've hunted fields multiple times and been laying there, and then motherfuckers will fly right over you and land 50 feet behind you.
9 pound, 8 ounce, sweet baby Jesus. Sorry, I had to tell Nigga Night when you said that.
But yeah, I mean, it could be the same as when you're deer hunting. You can have your stand facing this way out in this field and have a field butt up against you in the back, and the deer you watch walk out 5 fucking times in this field, and you're like, he's coming today, boys.
Oh,
And he walks out behind you, and you're like, what the fuck?
I mean, had it happen last year.
Yeah. I
Like
mean,
literally, my buddy killed a stud the night before. He's 2 or 3 miles from me, and I watched this deer come out at 150 yards from me. Bow hunting. If I'd have been rifle hunting, yeah, I could have smoked him. 150 yards. I'm looking at it through the binos, and I'm like, texting him, and he goes, "Well, is he a shooter?" I'm like, "Yeah, if he comes in, I'd stick him.
Yeah.
Like he's a stud." And he goes, "Serious?" Because we had hunted, he'd been up here and we'd hunted that whole week.
Yeah.
And not really seen, per se, the shooter.
yeah.
And he wasn't even on my radar. It was a buck that we didn't have any footage of or anything. And I was like, "Yeah, he comes in, I'll stick him." I said, "He's mature."
Yeah.
That night, he stayed 100, 150 yards from me. Watch him work his way all the way across the field, go out, jump the gravel road, turn and go north, and I'm like, hell, he's working his way right toward him. And I texted him, I was like, he's going to be heading your way. Probably won't be there before dark. He's like, okay. So the next morning, he hunts, doesn't see anything. That evening, I'm like, you need to go back to that stand.
Yeah.
Because if he's on a pattern and he's working that way, he's going to be there. Sooner or later, he's going to be there before dark. So I go set that next night, same stand. He sets in the same stand. And right about dark, I'm texting him. I'm like, well, I haven't seen him. I don't hear nothing back. I wait a little bit, and I was like, seen anything? Don't hear nothing again. And I'm like, oh, God. Hope he didn't fall out of the stand.
He
You
fell
know,
asleep and
like
fell
'cause
out.
he's always, we're always texting back and forth,
Yeah.
and didn't hear nothing. So I sat there, and right at dark, I'm just lowering my bow down out of the stand, and I get about halfway down the ladder, and I feel, because I got a bino case, and I keep my phone in with my binos on my chest, and I feel my phone vibrate. I'm like, okay. Get down. I didn't even untie my bow. It's still hanging from the lanyard. I pull my phone out, and he goes, and I check my text message, says, Stucky. And I'm like, oh my God, what did he stick?
Yeah.
And so I instantly call him, and I'm like, what'd you stick? And he goes, what was the one you said last night that come out at 150 yards? What'd he look like? I said, it's mainframe 10-point, got this cool little sticker off of his left eye guard that comes right out over his nose. And he goes, okay, just checking. And hangs up. And I'm like, what the hell? Why do you hang up on me? And I start walking toward the house, and I get, again, on my chest. Pull my phone out. It's a picture of that deer. He killed him.
Yeah.
Dead to rights. Shot him at 10 yards. He didn't go 30 yards piled up. And he goes, and underneath the picture says, is this him? And I'm like,
Yep.
my man.
Yeah.
So we go down, we put our hands on him, and we get ready to load him in the truck, and he's like, you called that? And I said, what do you mean I called it? He goes, he was a shooter. He's like, you saw him at 150 yards and thought, I'll stick him all day long with an arrow if he gives me a shot.
Yeah.
He goes, dude, when he come in at 10 yards, he said it made the hair stand up on the back of my neck. There you go again. I hunted all season. I killed a cull buck, management deer. That was probably more enjoyable for
Mhm.
me than killing a monster deer, because This buddy of mine, he comes up from Arkansas, buys an out-of-state tag, which is ridiculous, by the way, Kansas. It's ridiculous. Buys an out-of-state tag, hunts every year. Several years he has went home empty-handed, paid for that $400 or $500 tag, bought thousands of pounds of corn. Like, this dude paid more for that deer than you could have bought a half a head of cattle. I mean, he could have bought a small herd for what he spent just to kill that deer over the course of 3 years. Couldn't have wiped that smile off his face with pig shit.
Yep.
Like, it was badass. That made my whole deer season. That's why when Gordy Jr. come out, management deer, I was like, yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of spoiled. I get to shoot you guys anytime I want to. You're always here. I live here. I get to see you. Yeah, I'll take one for the team this year. So I did.
Yeah.
So where are we at time-wise? Have we got enough for a second?
Oh, yeah, we're at 50 minutes.
We have done good.
So, to kind of wrap this up, we wanted to talk a little bit about hunting experiences and stuff.
For sure.
A little bit of sports in there.
Yeah.
I'm really
Go
hoping
Pacheco.
that we get the first video figured out. I tried some things I've seen on the internet. I hope it fucking worked. If it didn't, I might.
Cry.
I might retire.
I might cry. Because
I'm
that
not-
first episode was good.
Oh, God.
It was good.
It was very good. There were some, like, little sentimental moments in there.
Yeah, it was good.
So I'm hoping I can make it work. If not, I will edit every part of my shit out, and I will just make it a Goucher episode because it was all your audio we could hear.
I mean, I did kill him on that episode.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys noticed.
Oh, he
I don't look like Santa Claus today.
just for men.
Thank you, Just for Men,
Just
Joe.
for men. But yeah, I'm going.
There's a mirror back there. I'm kind of checking it out.
I'm gonna try my best to make it work. We've been at this for let's see, almost 6 straight hours.
Wow.
So
Are you serious?
yeah, it's 9:35, dog.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But yeah, we hope you guys like the content. I'm pushing more TikToks and YouTube Shorts and Facebook Reels. So be sure to comment where on the YouTube videos because y'all don't like Spotify for some reason.
Because we're kind of a big thing.
But be sure to comment where you found us from. I would like to know.
And thank you for the comments
Oh yeah.
and all of the, I wouldn't say controversy,
Oh.
but I like the discussions.
Yeah.
I like knowing how other people feel about shit we've said.
Yeah.
'Cause
make
it's one of them-
If you found us on TikTok or YouTube Shorts or Facebook Reels and you disagreed with it, go back and watch the whole video because you might
yeah.
be shocked. Because I found an app. It helps making editing TikTok videos easier.
And the shorts are cool.
And you can pick controversial moments. You can pick funny moments. So it picks them, and I just approve or deny it. And then I do some more editing and do some more touch-up stuff. But yeah. So you might think, oh well, like the last one. Oh well.
Wow, that was very opinionated.
Yeah, like they're shit talking landowners for wanting to make money.
It
That
wasn't.
was not that at all.
Wasn't at all.
But it got you.
But it
It
did.
got your ass.
It got your attention. It got your attention.
And so, but yeah, we're just 2 dudes shooting the shit. So
Trying to feel it out.
we hope you, whatever time you're watching this, if it's 5 a.m. across the planet or if it's 5 p.m. when the video goes up, we hope you enjoyed it. We hope you had fun.
Like, follow, subscribe.
Yeah, you have to pee this time?
I do it.
He has to pee every time.
Like, follow, subscribe, share, tell your
we
friends.
will catch you on the next one.
Peace out. God bless. And that's a wrap. And we're done.
This is why
And we might be wrapped.
never cut it off.
But we're done.
We'll see you.